I'm going to be going over the practice problems for perimeter and area of complex or composite figures. I kind of call it that because they seem to use these two words kind of interchangeably. So I just want you to know that those are both the same thing. They're synonyms. So I'm going to go through each of the 13 questions, and I have the answers in front of me so we can check them. And if you watch this and write down the answers and then go back into your Canvas course, you'll have an opportunity to take the second chance of this. And I think I spelled chance wrong, but that's okay. You'll still get a grade. All right. Mr. Trenton wants to increase the size of the window in one wall of his gym to allow more sunlight into the gym. The current dimensions of the window are shown below. Which window dimension change would produce the greatest increase in the area of the window and allow the most sunlight into the gym? So this is a tricky way of making you do five area problems. So for A, it says tripling the height. So that would be, these pictures are not drawn to scale, it's just to keep track of the dimensions. So triple 3 is 9. Multiplying the length by 3.5. So this is still going to be 3, and we're going to multiply 5 times 3.5. Where's the point? Don't want that. No. 3. Hold on. Well, this is kind of messed up. I think this happened the last time I did this too. All right, here we go. Clear. 3 times 3.5 is 10.5. So this is going to be 10.5. Then C is saying double the height and the length. So that'd be 10 and 6. And D is saying add 3 feet to the height and the length. So that's just adding, which would be 8 and 6. So now what we're going to do is we're going to find the area of these 5. And I think you all know the way you find area is length times width. Oh my gosh, it just gets crazier every time. Okay, so we got 5 times 3 is 15. We know that. 15 feet squared. 5 times 9 is 45 feet squared. So that's a lot bigger than 15. 10.5 times 3, pardon me, is 31.5 feet squared. So it's not this one. So far, that one's the biggest one. C is 60. 10 times 6 feet squared. So this one's out now. And 8 times 6 is 48. So it looks like the answer is C. Let me check the old answer key and see if we're right. C is the answer. Okay. So now we've got number 2. Samuel's garden plot has a length 4 times its width, as shown in the diagram below. The area of the garden is 64 square feet. So this is actually kind of a tricky way to have you do an equation. So we know that x times 4x is going to be 64. X times 4x is going to be 64. Okay, so we have x times 4x equals 64. This is 4x squared equals 64. Now we're going to divide both sides by 4. Just to be sure, I'm going to do that on the calculator. You get 16. Now this x squared means some number times the same number equals 16. So if you think about your multiple, and for 8th graders, which you guys will be next year, What you're really looking for is the square root of 16. But what number times itself is 16? Hopefully you know your multiplication tables well enough to know that it is 4. Okay? If the value of x is increased by 2 to form a larger garden, what will the area of the larger garden be? So this was not necessary. That's your teacher doing something and not reading the whole question. So make sure you read the whole question. Oy vey. Okay, so this is now going to be x plus 2. And then the other part is still 4x. You know what? I think we can use this, actually. I take that back. We're going to take this 4 and we're going to figure out what these are. So 4 times 4 is 16. 4 plus 2 is 6. So we just took the x, we put it in here. 4 times 4 is 16. We took the 4 and we added 2 because that's what the directions told us to do. Now I'm going to do 16 times 6, and I actually think this is going to work. 16 times 6. Well, what I'm getting is not any of those answers. It says that this is the answer. But if you've been watching the other videos, their answers aren't always right. Let's read through it again. Samuel's garden plot has a length 4 times the width. The area of the garden is 64 feet. So length times width, x times 4x equals 64. X times 4x is 4x squared. Divide both sides by x. X squared is 16, so x is 4. So if x is 4, if I put x in here, that gives me 16. And it says if the value of x is increased by 2, oh, that's what I didn't do. That's what I didn't do. All right, so let me erase this. I only increased 1 by 2. So 4 plus 2 and 16 plus 2. So we really have 6 times 18. All right, let's see what happens now. 6 times 18. Now it's saying it's A, but the answer key says it's C. All right, if the value of x is increased by 2, so we found out that the value of x for the original garden was 4. If x is increased by 2, 6 times 4 is 24. So now we're going to have 6 times 24. Some of you have probably already seen this, but I have pandemic brain. So, all right, so the answer is C. When you do 6 times 24, you get 144. And that's the answer. So basically, that's perseverance. And I'm not surprised 108 was one of the answers because they're hoping that you do 4 times 4 plus 2 is 18 like I did, instead of 6 times 4 is 24. So the answer's right in the answer key. That is how you figure it out. Sorry about the confusion. All right, let's move on. Anne is planning to replace the carpeting on the staircase in her house. The staircase has 16 steps, each with a rise of 8 inches, a run of 11 inches. Each step is 42 inches wide, as shown in the drawing below. What is the total number of square feet of carpet Anne will need for the stairs to the nearest square foot? So we're talking about this right here is 8 times 42. This right here is 11 times 42. As if you're carpeting it, right? So 8 times 42, 11 times 42. 8 times 42, 11 times 42. And these are all inches. All right, so let's do 8 times 42 is 300 36. 11 times 42 is 462. And then I'm going to divide these by 12 to turn it into feet, because we need square feet down here. Divided by 12. This is 38.5 feet. And this is wait a minute, hold on a second. Okay, and then this one is 336 divided by 12 is 28 feet. That's an awful lot for one step. This does not seem right to me. Okay. In order to accommodate the squared foot, I think we're gonna have to do 144. Let's try it, let's see what happens. 462 divided by 144. Three and 5/24. 336 divided by 144. 336 divided by 144 equals 2 1/3. All right, that makes more sense. So for each step, we're going to need that much fabric. This one right here, the 336, is the front of the step. This 3 and 5/24 is the top of the step. So these added together will be one step of fabric. So let's figure out what this is. 2 and 1/3 plus 3 and 5/24. 5 and 13/24. Okay, so, and then how many of these do we have? We have 16. All right, 13/24 is pretty close to 5.5. So I'm going to do 5.5 times 16. Except I still don't know where the decimal is on this calculator. Okay, I'll do it this way. 16. All right, the answer I'm getting is B, and the answer they're telling me is it's C. Well, this is frustrating. All right, so let's try it a different way. Let's do 8 inches. 8 over 12 is 2/3. So this is 2/3 feet. 42 divided by 12 is 3.5. So this is 3.5 feet. And 11 divided by 12. Well, we'll just make that 11/12. 11/12 of a foot. All right, so the front is 2/3, which is this way, times 3.5, which is this way. The top is 11/12 times 3.5. Okay, so I'm going to make this 2/3 times 3.5, 11/12 times 3.5. So this is 2/3 times 7/2. This is 11/12 times 7/2. And you multiply straight across, it's 14/6 and 77/24. So what happens if you add those together? 14/6 plus 77/24. 14 times 4, 56. 77 plus 56. 133. 24. 5 and 13/24. That's which is what I got right here. All right, so that should be both of these. The staircase has 16 steps. Clear. 5 and 13/24 times 16. Right now I'm getting 89. And I know if I looked at it long enough, I'd probably figure out why that is happening. The other way we can do it is we can do 16 times 56/24. So 56 times 16 equals 896/24. So I'm going to divide by 24. I get 37 1/3. And then I'm going to do 77/24 times 16, which is 1232 divided by 24, divided by 24, 51 1/3. If I add these together, I still get 88 2/3. I'm going with B, but put C. B is what we're getting. Every way I've tried it, B is what we're getting, but put C in there, and I'm not really sure why it is 98. So put C in. All right, 4. Each of the small squares used to make the rectangle below has an area of 4/9 of a square meter. What is the perimeter of the entire rectangle? Okay, so we need to find out what the square root of 4/9 is, basically. What times what equals 4/9? Well, I'm hoping this is going to work. The square root of 4 is 2. The square root of 9 is 3. So if I multiply those together, I get 4/9. So that seems all right, but I'm a little nervous now because of these other questions I've been having a hard time with. So let's look at this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 times 2/3. That's this side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 times 2/3. So this is 7 times 2/3 because you got to do all the way around. And this one is 6 times 2/3. So really, we can do 12 times 2/3, and we can do 14 times 2/3. So this is going to be 24 thirds, 28 thirds, and we can add them together because it is the same common denominator. So 24 plus 28 is 52 thirds. 52 divided by 3 is 17 1/3, so I'm getting C. I'm almost afraid to look at the answer key. 4 is C. And actually, I just looked at this. B is the right answer for this one. I was looking in the wrong place. I definitely need to get back to school and dealing with you guys because my brain is getting really mushy. You guys keep me on my toes. All right, so 3 is B. You can put that in. You will get it right. I feel much better. Yay! All right, 4 is C. Yay! I'm losing my mind, guys. All right, let's do 5. All right, what is the area in square meters of the figure shown below? So probably what you're noticing is we have some trapezoids here. And I showed you a video about the trapezoids. Area of a trapezoid is 1/2 base 1 plus base 2 times the height. So we have a trapezoid here and a trapezoid here. So for this one, this is what we're dealing with. This is the height. This is base 1. This is base 2. All right, so we've got 1/2 16 plus 11 and the height is 12. All right, so 16 plus 11 times 6, because half of 12 is 6, times 6. So that's 162 meters squared. All right, this one, we have 1/2. This is the height. Do we know what this one is? 11. 11 plus 23 times 5. So 11 plus 23. And half of 5 is 2.5 times 2.5 is 85. Then we've got this. So far we have 85 plus 162. It's 247. So it's probably not this one. It's too close. So how are we going to figure out what the area of this is? What is the area in square meters for the figure shown below? Let's do it this way. Let's say, just eyeballing it, looking at this, let's say these are all 12. So that's 144. So let's add 144 to our 247. 391. So what is 331 minus 254? 77. So in order for the answer to be B, this has to be only 77. That doesn't seem like enough. 391 is pretty close to 416. I'm kind of liking that one right now. Let's do 663 minus 247. So I'm subtracting what we know from the answers just to see what's reasonable, because checking for what's reasonable is actually a pretty valid way of doing this. So in order for the answer to be D, each of these sides would have to be around 20. And that just looks too big to me. This is 16, this is 17, so it's probably not 20. In order for it to be 391, it's 12. A little more than 12. And that seems a little more reasonable when you're looking at, if you look at this is 16, and that's not anything like that. The reason we can't find out specifics is because you guys haven't really learned about hypotenuses yet. In 7th grade and 8th grade, there'd be another way we could do this. But I'm looking at the answer, and the answer is C. It is C. So go ahead and mark that in. All right, 6. Mr. Castillo is planning on buying an Oriental rug. He decides to record the dimensions of the rugs he sees at different stores. All right, so, let's do the area first because we're just multiplying for the area, right? So 3 times 3 is 9. 6 times 4 is 24. 5 times 5 is 25. 8 times 3 is 24. And 9 times 4 is 36. Now we have to do 2 times this plus 2 times that. 2 times this is 6. 2 times this is 6. So that's 12. 2 times this is 12. 2 times this is 8. So that's 20. 2 times 5 is 10. 2 times 5 is 10, so that's 20. 2 times 8 is 16. 2 times 3 is 6, so that's 22. 2 times 9 is 18. 2 times 4 is 8, so that's 26. All right. According to the table, which 2 rugs... Okay, Mr. Castillo decides to buy 2 rugs instead of 1. According to the table, which 2 rugs should Mr. Castillo choose if he wants them to have the same area? Well, we have B and D have the same area. According to the table, which 2 rugs should Mr. Castillo choose if he wants them to have the same perimeter? B and C. Okay. 7. The sides of rectangle E, F, G, H are exactly twice as long as the sides of rectangle A, B, C, D. Which statement is true? So let's just make this up. So it says exactly twice as long. So let's do 2, 4, 2, 4, 4, 8, 4, 8. So we just made some up just so we can kind of look at it, figure it out. The area, and then let's do the area. So 4 times 8 is 32 squared, units squared. 2 times 4, 8 units squared. The area of rectangle EFGH is 4 times the area of rectangle ABCD. Well, that is true. So I'm thinking this is pretty good, but let's look at the rest of them. The perimeter of rectangle EFGH is 4 times. So we didn't do that. 16 plus 8 is 26. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So these are not, this is not times 4. Okay, oh, this is 24. It's 2 times, but not 4 times. So not this one. The area of rectangle EFGH is 2 times the area. Well, no, that's not right, because this would have to be 16. The perimeter of EFGH is half the perimeter. Well, that's not right, because it's twice. So the answer should be A. Let me check the answers. 7 is A. Okay. Triangle 1 is planted with daisies, and triangle 2 is planted with roses. The area planted with daisies covers 2.2 square meters. What is the approximate area of the section planted with roses? All right, so remember, the area of a triangle is 1/2 the base times the height. In this case, we don't really know the height. So a sneaky way of doing this is kind of working backwards, which I guess is what they want you to do. So I'm going to do 2.2 is 4.4, right? So 4.4 divided by 4.4 divided by 2 is 2 1/5, 2.2. So if this is 2.2, let's see if that works. So 2 1/5 times 1 8/10 equals, well, that didn't work. What we're looking for is 1.8 times something divided by 2 equals 2.2. That's really what we're trying to do. So we can do this, which is kind of what I was trying to do, but it didn't really work out. So we've got 1.8x equals 4.4. 4.4 divided by 1.8. Okay, 4 4/10 divided by 1 8/10 equals 2.2 4/9. 2.44. Okay, 2.44. So if that's the case, we can do 3.2 times 2.44. Whoops. Ugh. 3.2 times 2.44 divided by 2. Okay, times 3 2/10 equals, divided by 2, 3 41/45, which is pretty close to 4 meters squared. And that is the right answer. So when you put this in your calculator, you're going to get something very close to 4, approximately 4. And that's how I got A. Okay? Let's look at 9. We're probably going to need the trapezoid. Yep, trapezoid. Here we go. So we're going to do 1/2 base 1 plus base 2 times the height. So we have 1/2, 15 and 8. 15 plus 8, and the height is 6. So area equals 23. And we have 1/2 and we have 6. Half of 6 is 3. So area should equal 3 times 23. 69 meters squared. All right. And this is open response, so I don't have the answer to that, but I feel pretty good about that. All right, let's look at 10. A square has side lengths of S inches. So they're all S because squares are all the same. Suppose the perimeter of the square, so that means S plus S plus S plus S equals P, and its area is A. S times S is A. If P equals A, if these two equal each other, what is S? And this is multiple choice, so you can just put them in. So let's make them all 2. 2, 2, 2, 2. So if I had 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2, that's 8. All right? And 2 times 2 is 4. So that didn't work. If we do 3, 3, 3, 3, all the way around, we get 6, 9, 12. 3 times 3 is 9. So that didn't work. Let's try 4, 4, 4, 4. 4 plus 4 plus 4 plus 4 equals 16, and 4 times 4 is 16. We'll check the 5s just in case. So we get 20 and 25. So that doesn't work. So this one, 6 is 12 and 9. That's why that doesn't work. This one is 25 and 20. That's why this one doesn't work. This one is 16 and 16. That's why this one works. And this original one was 8 and 4. And let me just check the answer. 10 is C. Okay, there's going to be a lot of C's on this. All right, a tract of land indicated by quadrilateral MNPQ is shown on this grid where one square unit represents 50 square feet. What is the area in square feet of the tract of land? All right. Let's see. So it's not really a trapezoid. It's kind of just a crazy quadrilateral. The length of this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8. That's pretty easy to see. The length of this there is actually a way to do this with 8th grade math, but I don't want to worry about 8th grade math right now. Actually, we can divide this up and find these. So we can find the area of this. let's find the area of this. So this one right here is 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 times 4 divided by 2 is 12. So this one's 12. Let's find, all right, so then we got this big triangle right here. This one's 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 8 times 13 divided by 2. So we're doing this triangle. We got this triangle. 8 times 13 divided by 2 is 52. So this one's 52. And then we've got this one right here, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 6 times 9 is divided by 2, so that's 54 divided by 2. It's 27. That's this one. So we have 12 plus 27 plus 52. 91. Is that the right answer? Let's see. No! Oh, because we forgot to do the times 50. 91 times 50. Yes. So make sure, see, I'm catching my mistakes because I have the answers. When you do these, you don't have the answers. The reason 91 is here is because that's what you get for the number of squares. This is the number of squares. So when you think you've gotten the final answer, it's always a really good idea to go back and read the question, because it says, is shown on this grid where 1 square equals 50 square feet. So you really have to do 91 times 50, and when you do that, you get the correct answer, which is C. All right, Connie, these are the last two. Connie needs to buy wallpaper for a rectangular room with height, width, and length. To estimate the amount of wallpaper she needs for the 4 walls, Connie decides to ignore the doors and the windows. Which of the following represents Connie's estimate? So we have height, width, and length. And this is the ceiling. So we don't need the ceiling. And the other one underneath is the floor. So basically we need this one and the one over here, and this one and the one back here. So we're going to need width times length times 2 plus height times length times 2. Is there one that kind of looks like that? Oh, I did the floor. So width times height, that's this one, and the one on the back times 2, and length times height, which is this wall, and the one on the back times 2. All right, so the answer should be D, and it is. Last one. A club is baking a cake for a large party. They expect approximately 210 people to attend the party and plan to serve 3-inch by 3-inch portions of cake. How many 18-inch by 24-inch cake pans will the club need to serve each person 1 portion of cake? So we need 3 by 3 is 9 inches squared. 18 times 24 is 432 inches squared. So we need 9 times 210 is 1890. Then we need to divide this. 1890 divided by 432 is 4 3/8, which means we need 5 to be sure that we have enough for everybody, because 4 3/8 is, you won't have enough if you only do 4. And the answer is C. That was all. All right, sorry about the rough start to that one. Some of these questions are tricky, and some of them you can just get wrong from not reading correctly, as we found out. And hopefully this will help. You can go back and take the second chance one if you look on the assignment for this. And I hope you're doing well.